Hi, this is AJ. In this video, I'm going to talk about the process of acquiring and installing a stainless swim pool. All right, before I get into the pool that I bought, let me explain a little bit how I ended up here. Like a lot of you, I probably ended up here from Google. So I had been searching for do-it-yourself pools really for years. I had been looking around at different options that were available out there. As I scroll down here, I'll probably see some images of different things. Yeah, you see some stock tank pools, you see container pools, somebody who dug their own thing and embedded. Probably the same thing, maybe a lot of you are looking around at. I even found some like precast concrete pools that they just crane in over the house. But all those things were either I didn't like the way it looked. Like my wife doesn't want a stock tank, regular stock tank pool. And the concrete one that I was looking at, I forget the name of it, but it was beautiful, but it was expensive and it had to be craned in, which means I had to remove a bunch of trees and whatnot. So as I was searching through all these different YouTube videos and things, I even wanted like a natural pool, which would have been cool, but there's just no way to do it at my house. Anyway, somewhere I came across, and you can see it doesn't show up in these pictures. I must have been like deep diving one day. I came across StainlessSwim. And some of you may have heard of StainlessSwim. I hadn't heard of them, but as soon as I saw this pool, as I scroll down, you'll see kind of what I'm talking about. I thought, wow, that's cool. That's kind of what I want. I want something that's simple, it's modular, that I can bring in because I have tight access in my yard. So as I started looking at these things, I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool. But I didn't see anything on YouTube or Google really about this. The only thing I see is the marketing from StainlessSwim. And you got to be skeptical when you only see the company putting stuff out. And there's a couple of testimonial videos out there. But I started digging around, and one thing I noticed, first of all, like if you want them to install it, you can come over here to the shop button and you'll go through all this stuff and you can see different prices. And that's what it was for them to install the pool that I installed at my house was going to be about $10,000 or something in that neighborhood. But what I ended up finding was it doesn't show up here in the top tabs, but if you go back to the home page and then if you scroll down at the bottom here, you'll see this DIY kits. And if the Stainless Swim folks are watching, I would recommend putting that as a button near the top there so it makes it a little bit more straightforward. But when I click on the DIY kits, you'll see these kits pop up, right? And again, I like the marketing here because pretty much how it comes. It comes in a box of different components. But what I did is I came down, I hit the order now button. And then once I hit the order now button, I basically went through. I selected a 12-foot pool. You can make it a little bit taller if you wanted to. I was fine with 4 feet. I had my own filter. I didn't need one of those. I did order the pre-cut skimmer and holes. That made things a lot easier. I didn't need the plumbing essentials kit because I'm a handyman. I could do that stuff myself. I also didn't order the inline chlorinator. I just have a floating one. I did order the extra liner pad. And then finally, I ordered the extra guidance. I didn't end up using the support guidance, but it was nice to know that it was there. Anyway, my total cost came out to about $4,200. And I was able to pick this pool up near my house because it's only about 40 minutes away from my house. Anyway, that was it. The lead time was about 3 to 4 weeks. I ended up renting a box truck and heading up there to go ahead and pick up the items. And I'll give you a little bit of an overview of how that process worked in the next few segments of this video. All right, so this is the start of me using the Mini X here to excavate an area for me to put the pool. I got a rotating laser level over here. So I'm just gonna kind of start digging and leveling this thing out using a laser to kind of check it along the way. Okay, let me walk you through the process. I apologize, I didn't take a lot of videos while I was putting the pool together. I was just so focused on putting it together. So let me start off first by saying what you see in the middle here is you're going to get instructions. If you buy the DIY kit, you're going to get instructions from them. And the instructions are pretty good. I'll give them credit on that. I had asked for the instructions before I purchased the pool just to make sure I would understand them. They said, no, wait until you get the pool, then we'll give you the instructions. I understand they probably don't want people copying their stuff. But anyway, I got the instructions, and as you follow the instructions, it basically tells you got to create a level pad in your yard. So you can see the mini excavator I have here. So I had a couple things, and you'll have some things in your yard that you may have to deal with. Number one is I knew this tree was going to be a problem, even though the pool is over here. The tree with the leaves and all sorts of other things I knew was going to be a problem. I may even compromise the roots as I was digging down. So I had this tree removed initially. That cost me, I actually got a pretty good deal. It was like $4,000 to have the tree removed. And it's a giant oak tree. Some of the other quotes I got were over $7,000 for that. So the tree was removed. Mini excavator came in, and as you can see here, I start creating a level and flat area. And my yard didn't have much of a slope, but I did have to go in there and excavate an area about 6 inches to a foot down. It was a little bit deeper, closer to the house. But that was step number one. So after I've got most of that done and moved the dirt around, got it done, you can see some white lines. I was constantly using like a screwdriver here and just a string with a 6 inch radius to go around and give me a 12 foot, or sorry, it was a 6 foot radius to give me a 12-foot diameter around the area. You can see where I'm starting to figure out where I'm going to put the concrete piers. And that's what you'll see in the next area here. So the instructions tell you that you basically have to dig footings down and put in concrete support footers or piers at least 5 different areas around the pool. So those circles that you see there, they're on that circumference of that circle that I had drawn out earlier using the screwdriver and the string, basically just walking around. You'll also see that I have a Bosch spinning laser here. I ended up purchasing one of those just to make sure everything was completely level in that area. Once I had all that area done, basically what I did is, again, follow the instructions, mixed up some concrete, put some basic footers down there, and then wedged in, I think it was 8 inch, they recommend 8 inch sono tubes. So I pushed the 8 inch sono tubes in there. I had my laser level spinning. I'm using my stick to make sure that the tops of each of those piers is completely level with each other. Because you got to imagine the pool is going to basically sit on those things. That's going to be the primary support for the pool shell. Then the rest of the area here is going to be filled in with sand eventually. As you can see, the sand is starting to come in right now. Right now, it kind of looks a little bit wonky, but as you see, as I start to fill the sand in, all of these concrete piers are completely level with each other. So as I bring the sand in, the tops of these areas are basically going to be filled in with sand. And I wanted to make sure, since I have a very rocky soil and a lot of roots, I have about 6 to 8 inches of sand going down. I wanted to make sure I had no issues with the pool sitting on this thing for years. So as you can see, I start to bring in more and more sand. I rented a plate compactor. That was about $50 for the day. And I'm going in there and I'm compacting the sand as I go around. As I finally get down to it, we're just doing some final touches. I had my son out here. He was on leave from the Navy. So just helping me out with that. And as I'm doing it, I'm just putting some walk boards down here just so I don't mess up some of the work that I've already done. Once the area was completely done, basically covered it up a little bit with some plastic tarp. And then we made our way up to go pick up the pool. I actually took this picture after I picked up the pool. You can see the pool panels kind of here in the background. But I had to drive about 40 minutes up to the Austin area, up to their warehouse. And this is what the pool looks like when you receive it. It basically just comes in sections. Just to make it easier, I rented a box truck from Home Depot. I think it was $150 for the rental of that truck. The guys, great guys, they loaded everything up. They put some blocking in there. This is the pool liner, and then a bunch of other supplies come in different boxes. So just make sure you have tie downs to make sure everything doesn't move as you're transporting it down. Once I got everything down to my house, then we basically just took the panels, and you can see they're sitting across those concrete footers that we placed earlier. So right now they're loose. When we put them up there, I think I have maybe one bolt in there. And in the box of supplies, you're going to have bolts that essentially bolt each of these panels together. So you'll hold them up there. I recommend at least 3 people holding them up there, putting all the bolts and the nuts through, getting things squared away, set up. Don't tighten anything down yet. Get everything in place. Then once it's in place, essentially you're going to have somebody on the inside holding a flathead screwdriver and somebody on the outside tightening up the bolts. You can do this with an impact wrench. We did everything by hand. I just want to make sure everything was torqued correctly. So I had my son inside touching that. Again, he's on these walk boards, so we don't mess up the sand layer that we've already put down there. This is just another view of what it looks like from the top side. Now I apologize, I didn't get all of the pictures that I needed, but underneath what you see here is foam insulation board, half-inch foam insulation board that you essentially have to cut to fit, put in there, and tape all the seams together. Again, this will come, you'll see this in the instructions that you receive. The foam board did not come with the kit. I just reached out to them, hey, did I miss something? They said, no, you have to purchase that your own. Now, what we did was we started putting the foam boards in and kind of cutting and fitting. It was a little bit of a hassle, to be honest with you. What I would recommend doing is figure out all the foam boards that you need, maybe put them on the side there, tape a bunch together, and then find the center point in there, do your circumference with that same string, cut everything out, and then put the pieces in. What we did is we tried to fit it in once it was there, and it was just awkward, and it was a little bit of a pain and some cursing going on. But I did get them in. I would recommend cutting them before you put them in place. Once the foam boards were in place, the next thing we did was lay down this felt liner. Now, this was the guys at StainlessSwim said I didn't have to put the foam boards down. I could have just done the liner, but I felt more comfortable putting the foam boards down, getting it kind of a rigid surface. Then the next thing you're going to do is put in this foam padding around that, kind of protects the liner, make sure it doesn't rub up against the bolts. And then the final thing they'll do is they provide this coping that goes around the edges so that the liner doesn't like kind of squish into that, makes it a nice smooth transition. Now the next thing we do is we get the liner. You can see all these clips that we have in here. So we have all these clips holding up the liner. And then we're stretching it out. We're putting a little bit of water in and we're stretching the liner out. The instructions recommend kind of kicking it out with your feet. So I got the boys and my wife in there pushing the liner out. We're each taking turns. We had a couple of hoses in there filling things up. And then once you get about 3 or 4 inches down there, you're not moving the bottom much anymore. There's a lot of pressure on that. So you can see we're just kind of chilling out as the water is filling up here. Again, you can see me filling out. Right now, the water level is up to about maybe 1.5 feet or so. And you can see that you will see the ridges through the pool liner. I think it actually makes it look pretty cool. But the water slowly filled up. Took maybe a day or two. I stopped filling up the water overnight just to make sure we were there as it was happening. But the water slowly fills up. We ended up purchasing these pool stairs because I had to meet once everything was said and done, I had to have the pool inspector come over, or the city inspector come over, make sure I was in compliance with everything. And one of the compliance steps was I had to make sure access to the pool was safe. So this is kind of a sliding pool stair system that I could lock up. That way I can pass my inspection. But again, these are just temporary because we're going to be building a deck around there. Now, the next thing you see here, we still have the liner overhanging here. So what you do is they give you this cap piece here, this plastic and metal cap piece that kind of cinches the liner down. I also didn't mention that you have to do cutouts for the skimmer and for the jet return. All this stuff is in the instructions. It's pretty straightforward. You just got to make sure things are tightened down. But once that's all done, we put this cap rail up. We're just tapping it in with a rubber mallet. And then we're going around the edge and just cutting off the excess there with a utility knife. Some of the final steps you see here, this is a waterproofing membrane. Again, also in the instructions, if you're planning to bury the pool a little bit and you want to make sure it lasts a little bit longer, putting on this waterproof membrane around certain areas will kind of pay off dividends in the future. So we did that all the way around the pool up to about this level in our case here. Then the final thing you'll see here is this is not in the instructions, but it is a code requirement that if you have a pool, it has to be properly bonded. And then what that means is the pool, the water, the ladder, everything that you have that's connected to the pool, the pump, it all has to be connected or bonded to each other. You're not grounding it. You just make sure that everything is connected. So there's no difference in electrical potential between one area of the pool and another area of the pool that would basically give you a shock. It's not going to kill you, but it's maybe going to make you feel uncomfortable. So it is a code requirement. And I'll have a video right after this kind of explaining that. And this is a quick look at some of the extra foam that we had. This is what's actually underneath the liner there. But I'll pause here. I'll move over to that bonding video. I can kind of explain how we did that. So this is what the bonding looks like. You can see you need 4 points of contact and number 8 copper wire going around. So underneath each of the bolt patterns, I basically just put a screw in to put this connector piece here. Made sure that I kind of grinded off the other side so it wasn't an issue. You might be able to find one that connects into the bolt, but mine were a little bit smaller than that. But I'm going around here, I'm touching basically everywhere where there's bolts. I'm just screwing into that. You can look up a video, maybe I'll put a link in here on how to do bonding. But all this is doing is make sure that there's equal potential between all the different sources, between the water and the pump and all sorts of stuff. It's required by code in any area. So if you're going to put one of these pools in, make sure you're doing this. I got my 4 points of connection. Then also I'm going to connect it into where the skimmer is here. And then where I'm going to be putting my pump, there'll also be a connection to the pump as well. So that's basically it. That's my pool. I'm very happy with it. I didn't, I'm not going to get into detail with the filter system, but I got my filter system over there. That's working pretty straightforward. Actually, will bring you over just so you can see in the video there. I didn't show you the kind of the hopper and the other stuff, but you can see here, this is the skimmer. That's the water jet going in. Basically, it comes with holes already built into that. And then down here in Texas, I got a sunshade just to kind of keep things going. My plan here, as you can see, I have no deck behind me. I'm in the process of building the deck. You can see a bunch of footing holes that I have going on right now. But overall, I would say this is a great option, a great pool. It's very affordable. It's pretty easy to put in yourself. We'll see how it holds up over the years. But I definitely like it more than your typical looking above ground pool, which I never really liked the look of. I really like the look of this thing, especially here in Texas. I think it blends very well. So kudos to the stainless steel folks who put this together. I think they have a great product, and look forward to years and years of use of this. Anyway, if you're got anything out of this video, let me know. Drop a comment down below. If you're interested in kind of seeing how everything's all said and done in the next few months when I build the deck, put a comment down below. I'll do a follow-up video on that. But if you have any questions, concerns, feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time.